today. I'm Janice.
Hi, I'm Victor. We are working in the location that is called Bisperbeer School. We are going to rename it together Nordvest.
Alright, so we want to start with addressing the situation and the problem of this area. And number one is that the neighborhood is kind of seen as a little undesirable, seen as a little unsafe. And we kind of want to address how will the space work in all times and weather. And the space is beautiful, I'm sure you guys know what it looks like. But it's a little old and it's a little unused, so how do we revive that? So, where do we get inspiration from? A pattern language. A great book, you guys should take a read. As you see in section 61, small public squares. And within this section, we see so much inspiration in how we can transform this place to become centered for the community and how we can get much more people to activate around it. So this was a really great resource for our project.
We're working with 4 main concepts to fix these issues. The first one is culture, through the creation of a new Danish landmark. The second one is nature and water, through the creation of a beautiful community space, which uses natural resources and sustainable material. The third one is togetherness, which is the one that names our project, through creating an area which brings all the community together and gives them a space where they can get together and have fun. Finally, the past and the present, which is signified by the story that inspired us, that we will explain later, and also by the construction of the old building with the new structures that we're going to build.
And you're going to see these 4 concepts continue to come up in all of the things that we are going to speak about, because we really want to turn it back to our point of view, which is culture. So this is the master plan, beautiful master plan made by our team. And as you can see, the black structure is how the space is living within the community. And as you see here, we have a step-by-step content development. And as you see from number 2 and number 3, so what we're doing is we're taking these 3 different spaces, which makes the one, and we're going to combine them together through the entrances, which creates the plaza on the inside, as you see in 3. And then as you see in 4, this is the way that the public can access into the space. And 5 and 6 is showing how the accesses live within the plaza, which create divisions to show these small pools that we're going to be explaining. And then in section number 8, you see how everything lives together as a whole. So everything is a step-by-step, everything is within reason.
The entrances is the main building that the new structure that we're going to create. We have 3 entrances to the new area, and it's inspired by the creation of an Italian sculptor called Edoardo Tresoldi. He creates these structures made out of wire that create like a weaving structure using light, which attracts the people, which we will use to attract the people from outside into this area to catch their attention. Also, we are using the 4 concepts in this structure, bringing culture through art, bringing togetherness by closing the area and creating a plaza inside where everyone would like to spend time in. Also, the past and the present by combining the old building with the new structure, and finally the nature through the use of sustainable and renewable materials.
And in speaking of the inside of the plaza and how we integrate sustainability into this, as you see from this rendered image, this is a perspective of a person looking within the plaza and looking out into the building. And as you see from the previous slide of how the accesses work and how the pools come into play, this is how we bring in sustainability through the rainwater. And obviously rain is such a huge part of Copenhagen's culture, it's gonna rain wherever you are. So might as well use it for something good. We might see it as something negative, but let's turn it into something positive. We're using the rainwater to be able to generate energy, to be able to bring in light into the place, to be able to bring in a beautiful landmark. And as you see, the floor has changed color into this pink material. That's using sustainable material that will able to be soak in the rainwater to be able to be used in the pools. And as you see, kind of it's right here, and right here. These are different landmarks and sculptures that we're going to be speaking about that link back into Danish culture.
Yeah, to create this so-called landmark, we're basing it on the short story by Hans Christian Andersen, It's a Danish short story called The Little Match Girl, and I'm going to explain it briefly so that you can understand why we chose everything to look that way. This story is about a little girl that's trying to sell some matches to survive the dark winter. And she's so cold that she starts lighting the matches herself. And every time she lights a match, she has a vision of something cozy, good food, someplace hot. Eventually, she sees her dead grandma in one of the visions, and in an effort to keep that vision alive, she lights the rest of the matches she has. Sadly, the story ends with the little girl dying, but then she reunites with her grandma in heaven. So it's kind of like a dark life story, right? So we are using this story as an inspiration for our whole design. The sculptures, we decided to create this abstract representation of the girl and the grandma. I don't know if you can see them, but yeah, they will be placed in the opposite sides of the plaza. Our inspiration for the actual construction of the sculptures is the Danish sculptor Thomas Dumbo, which creates these amazing trolls and other sculptures around Denmark using recycled wood and sustainable materials.
So speaking of the actual interior of the building rather than the plaza, we really want it to be really community-based and for the people. So we really want to show how interchangeable these places are. As you see from both examples, they're used in different ways. While the dome could be used for a bar, the edges can be used for classrooms or for museum space, exhibition space, a cinema, and as well as being able to have the materials within used in the building to be able to be moved around, to be interchangeable, to be flexible. And also this addresses the issue of this place being a little bit unsafe. We really want to bring in community and make learning centers and be able to have people be able to thrive. And we also wanted to integrate this thing of the old people coming together with young people and being able to teach one another things. So it's kind of a learning workshop space as well as it could be changed to anything that the community desires.
Also in the interior, it will be a representation of the visions she has when she lights the matches. It's something nice. Talking about the interactive feature that we are implementing in our project, we are putting a QR code in the entrance of the area where people will find this website or app. You can see like the use. Mainly the two uses this app will have is to be able to allow people, visitors, to interact with the sculpture of the little girl through the LED placed in her hands, which represent the matches, right? So they can turn them on. Also, we have this little game where people will have to discover the different areas and inside the building. And every time someone visits a new area, it will unlock on the phone, and then you can click and see and read some new information. This will enhance the recurrability of the visiting experience, so that it's not only like you use it once and then you forget about the website.
And if you're curious about how this app works, we'll have a live demonstration outside shortly after. Speaking about the branding of Together Nordvest Torv, we really wanted to integrate this modern design juxtaposing with this beautiful old structure. So as you see from the logo design, it's shaped as a water drop, which represents our relationship with the rain, our relationship with Copenhagen, as well as the 3 divots, which represent the entrances to the space, as well as this like little splash of red, which represents the flame and the fire. So our color palette is really earthy, based on water and fire, but as well as representing the natural color of the space. So we really want to emphasize that we respect the building for what it is. We respect the history of it, and instead we're adding things to it, bringing in past and present to make it into something new. And as you see, this is also some wayfinding systems that people can find, because generally this is a promenade, and the first floor there's going to be cafes and restaurants, while the second floor is going to have workshops and things as such, and people need help to find their way around. That app and also these wayfinding systems will be able to assist the public.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure working with you.